What is going on, guys? Jack here, and welcome back to episode 18 of Lyon Live here in Football Manager 2019. It's Friday. I hope you've had a fantastic week. Not long now till the weekend. And, we're continuing on where we left off last time. If you missed last episode, there was a cup final as well as the first leg of the Champions League quarter-finals against Manchester United. I recommend you go check both those out as always. And, today we have a massive game to kick off the episode, don't we? We've got Manchester United away from home. So 1-1 in the first leg, a week to recover. I'm hoping that we can go and just get a great result here. That's got to be the aim, hasn't it? It's not going to be easy, but they are without Pogba because he got sent off against us. So that's a little bit of a silver lining, but in reality, it's going to be a pretty tall order. Before we start today's episode, I just want to comment on our recent form. And whilst I appreciate, there are a few draws in here against the likes of Manchester United, Atletico Madrid and Monaco, with the exception of the draw against Rennes, I feel like going all the way back to the game against Amiens, our form has just been absolutely top-notch. Like, it really can't be understated just how good we've been across the whole year. I mean, you can see here, our last defeat was against Saint-Etienne back in January, and we're now midway through April, and we've played a fair amount of games. So, as disappointing as it is to be second, I don't feel too upset, to be honest, with how we've done. I feel like we've done really, really well for a first year, especially with everything being live. This is a slightly unusual format, but it gives me a little less thinking time. I don't know about anyone else, but there's times where I go into FM and I will just fiddle with tactics and just look at stuff and transfer market stuff and training, and I'll sit there for like 2 hours, not really even continuing more than a handful of days. Obviously, I'm trying to avoid that a little bit with this, kind of keep the momentum going. And whilst we have obviously had a bit of a slowdown in January, for the most part, we've been kind of playing match after match after match. So to be playing as well as we are, I feel like we're doing okay. Anyway, let's get into today's game. We are away from home from this. United come into this with inconsistent form. If we just look at their form, they drew against Man City during midweek. So that's a game I can't imagine they've rotated their players for. You can see they lost to Stoke on penalties. They lost against Fulham. They did beat Barcelona in the first knockout round of the Champions League, although they did lose 2-0 away from home in that game. So maybe with tiring legs and with some patchy form, we can take advantage. They're going to be without Pogba. I could play kind of the more respectful system, the five in midfield. I think we will play this to start with. It's what we used against Atleti. I do feel like it worked quite nicely in our favour. In terms of team selection, I'm going to go with the exact same team that played the last game, just kind of a bit of rotation here and there, I think. The team itself has been in very, very good form, in truth. Whilst, when you look at the last 5 games, right, perhaps in midfield have been a little bit kind of lacklustre. I feel like, in general, midfielders this year in FM, particularly centre midfielders who have more defensive duties, they kind of get given really low average ratings, which I'm not so keen on. Anyway, looking at their team here, they are going to play more attacking for today's game. I'm hoping we can win the midfield battle. That's certainly going to be where we try and shine here. But we are underdogs. They are without Pogba. But let's be realistic. Manchester United away from home in any game of Football Manager in the last 10 years is always a game that you go into very unlikely to be favourites, I think it would be fair to say. We are in an okay position, having only conceded once in the home leg. A goal for us puts us in a nice spot. In truth, if we concede early on, it's not the end of the world. It's similar to the Atletico game, We have to score in today's game. We already know that. If we don't score, we're not going through. So, whilst we are playing this kind of pressing system, crowding out the midfield a little bit, I am very much in the mindset of if we need to go more attacking, we will and we can. But I can't afford to overly park the bus here. Anyway, let's see what we can do. We're trying to win that midfield battle. It might leave our strikers a little isolated, but we are going to look for the wing-backs to also get on the overlap. And while Lukaku breaking through, I thought he'd scored for a second. It would have been a pretty disastrous start. Manchester United looking to hit us on the break there. Marcelo beaten for pace. And, fortunately for us, Lukaku unable to find the target. Early on, United having a lot of the ball and have had more shots. I want to tell the players I need to demand more. They have a set piece here. They lay it off to Sanchez, who hits it narrowly over the crossbar. I do think Lopez had it covered, but it's a teeny tiny bit concerning, the lack of chances we're seeing going our way. Both of our inside forwards have picked up bookings. We are playing this kind of, pressing system, which is going to kind of require them to cover a lot of ground, but we do need to avoid getting sent off. We need to also, stop them scoring here as Lukaku heads it narrowly over. I mean, all the chances have gone to Manchester United that we've seen, but they're yet to hit the target. So with that in mind, I feel like it's not the worst first half in the world at Old Trafford. Unfortunately, as I said, we need a goal. The question is, do I go more attacking now with our tactics? Do we go back to our normal system and try and bully them a little bit more? Or do I stick it out being slightly more conservative? And actually, I think we're going to try and match them in the bullying department in the midfield. Do I want to make any changes? I don't think I do just yet. I'm kind of looking at our midfield attacking trio, Depay, Bertrand Traore and Fekir, to really step up. I'm hoping that with this changing system, they're going to be able to have a better second half performance. Oh my gosh, Fekir is going to get sent off. That's such a dumb tackle. It's such... He's claiming he's dived. Fekir, you've absolutely nailed him. Oh, that really screws up everything. A man down at Old Trafford needing a goal. It's not how I would have wanted this game to go, put it that way. I mean, what do you do in this situation, really? Oh, that really screws us over badly. I mean, the thing is, I've kind of got to just stay on attacking here and try and make something happen. Memphis has been poor. Moussa Dembele's been poor. I'm going to take off Dembele. And I'm going to bring in... Do I really want to bring in Martinez for this game? I do. We've got nothing to lose. It's going to be a roll of the dice. Martinez is a little more physical. He's a little better in the air. Given the fact we're a man down here, we probably need to change some of our instructions as well. There's no point in trying to hit it out of... work it into the box and hit it from... from the deeper areas. We need to stop taking it short. We need to look to hit them on counter when we can. Very high tempo. We probably should still look for the overlap, but the reality is we need to be more direct with our play. We need to be more pressing. I want us to play a bit more narrow and defensively as well. I'd like us to be just a little bit, I think, more compact with our width and stay narrow. Oh, I mean, as I said, we're now in the impossible situation where we're a man down at Old Trafford needing a goal. Like, 0-0 is not good enough. So we have to go more attacking, or at least stay on attacking. If it's a group stage game, I shut up shop here and play for the draw. I mean, the good news is it remains 0-0 with 15 seconds left. So 15 minutes left. So we have hope. I'm going to go with a double change in the final third. I'm going to bring in Terrier and St. Maximin. Try and get in some fresh legs there. We're also going to go more attacking. Again, if we concede one, which we have just done, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter because we still need a goal. We needed a goal before they scored. We needed a goal after they scored. It's a massive roll of the dice here. I cannot believe our star man, Fekir, who went missing in the final last episode against Marseille, you might remember. He's let us down a little bit here on another big occasion. Such an unnecessary straight red. I mean, 4 minutes left. They're on the attack. I feel like we've been dealt a pretty crappy hand here. And unfortunately, our Champions League campaign is going to crumble here. In a game that I think we were debatably the better team in up until the sending off. But, yeah, I mean, what can you do? I feel like you go into this game, you don't really expect to beat Manchester United anyway. You certainly don't expect to beat them when you then go a man down. Unfortunate that the scoreline doesn't really tell the full picture, I think, here. We now shift our focus onto the league, which we do remain in. Kind of a title race with. I'm kind of hoping now that PSG have gone through, because I know they're still in the French Cup as well, and I'm hoping that fixture congestion might cause them problems. I know they were playing Porto, who they drew 2-2 with. I mean, the good news is Fekir's suspension is going to be for European games only, so whilst we will miss him next year, he is still going to be available for selection for the... league running we have here. But, well, the dying moments of this game here, Manchester United look like they're going to win 2-0 on the night, 3-1 on aggregate. They could potentially rub salt in the wound, although, can the ref just blow the whistle? I mean, there we go. 2-0 to United, not what we needed, not what we wanted. Fekir sending off, very, very frustrating. I mean, again, it's not anything that I can really do about it at that point, unfortunately. PSG did win very handsomely. which is, well, good. Martinez still not scored. He's, how many games? 8 matches, although some of those have been on and off the bench. Fakir, I need to fine you a week's wages. I'm glad he's accepted his fine. I know sometimes players kick off about them, but I feel like in a game as big as that, you know, when your star player gets sent off, you've got to make an example of them. We now have a game against Angers, who are doing pretty well in the league. Denayer is going to be suspended for it, so Konate can come in. Wallace, returning to training soon, obviously tore his hamstring, has missed the last 2 or 3 months, a really significant injury. I feel like we've actually done okay without him, but it's going to be good to have him back. Marçal is also suspended. Lala, are you going to be back from injury in 2 days? No. We are running a little low in terms of defensive options, given the fact Lala's out injured, Wallace is out injured, Marçal and Denayer are suspended. I feel like we're just going to have to be light on a defender. Obviously, we'd have Markovic if we could have brought him, but we've loaned him to Auxerre. He's doing okay at Auxerre, by the way, in the 2nd division. You can see here, actually, a 6.94 average rating in Ligue 1. Playing for Auxerre, who I believe they're doing pretty well in the league. They're in 2nd. So good to see him getting regular first-team football at a club who have decent facilities. I'm hoping that's really going to benefit him. Saint Maximin also suspended. Trincão's shown glimmers of brilliance in the reserve team in some of the games, and he's improved a lot. So I feel like we'll give him a chance to play potentially on off the bench. Not an easy game, though, to go into here. We've rested some of our players, but Angers punching way above their weight up in 5th. The same day as this game, PSG are taking on Monaco. So we're hoping for a favour to be done for us. Also, you might have seen there, our assistant said he's hoping for European qualification. I believe a win here would secure us a top 3 spot, and with it, Champions League football. And our budgets would be set for the year. So a chance here, really, to secure what would be a very good finish in the league in terms of top 3. It's now down for us to do it. So we do still have a game in hand, as do PSG, on all the teams around us. So we do look, at this point, with 6 games left of the season, pretty nailed on to get a top 2 finish. Obviously, we're going to play our more attacking system. I think I might even play the same game that play the same team that played against Manchester United, obviously, with the exception of the few suspensions we have. It's a shame that Marçal's out, but Mendy needs some first-team football. He's going to come in and hopefully show us what he's made of. Tete at right-back's been pretty solid. We have got a few more players, a few yellow cards from suspensions. I think someone mentioned in the comments to me, because I commented on the suspensions in the French League. The way the French League suspensions work is if you get 3 yellow cards in your last 10 games, you get a ban. I kind of like that. You know, it's kind of after 10 games, if you've not had the yellow card, it gets kind of wiped off, the one that was 11 games ago. In the Premier League, I believe it's something like up until January, 5 yellow cards is a 1-match ban. Then it becomes 10 yellow cards is a 2-match ban, and you can't get a 5-match ban if you've already served one like in January. And then in March again, it clears to 15 games. If that makes any sense, I feel like I've explained that atrociously. Basically, there's different thresholds at different points in the season, which are the minimum. So after January, you can get 5 yellow cards and you wouldn't get that 1-match suspension. And after March, you could get 10 yellow cards and you wouldn't get the 2-match suspension. You would still, however, get the 3-match suspension if you get 15 yellow cards. I realise here I'm explaining a very, very boring concept of Premier League football. Let's focus on the game. Konate back post with the header. I was thinking about swapping Konate and Marcelo around here for the set-piece routine, but actually Marcelo, I think, is on back post corners. I think it was just a slightly mishit corner that found its way to Konate. Anyway, we're on the front foot, which is good. This is not a freebie. They are in 5th for a reason. It's going to be tricky to break them down, but, well, Bertrand Traoré is going to break them down with a finish like that. That takes his tally for the season for 20. Ferland Mendy at left-back. Lovely assist from him. Marçal-esque, you could say. Of course, we are going to have Moreno coming in at left-back next year, so both Mendy and Marçal kind of fighting for that second-choice left-back position, and you'd feel like one of them's probably got to give. Mendy being the younger option and not being a foreign player for our 4 non-EU player slots kind of is most likely to be that backup player, so we're expecting big things from him. And whilst I ramble on, Harrison Manzala, what a name that is. Great finish by him. Free kick just laid off to him, unmarked at the edge of the box. Who is that not reacting? Bertrand Traore needs to wake up defensively there. Make no mistake, though, that is a fantastic finish. From the edge of the box, rifled in. And while that lead lasted 6 minutes, we have been the better team, but we've not created enough great opportunities in this game. I'm a little bit scared of Manzala and Rainy Adelaide, but actually I feel like at half-time I am going to stick the wing-backs more attacking. Get them higher up the pitch, you know, maybe cause them some more issues defensively. Anyway, let's give a team talk here. Boys. Boys, boys, boys. Aggressive. I'm not happy. We should be winning this game. I'm also going to tell them that I've got faith in them and that I believe in them to turn it around. But we need a better performance. Tactical changes did lock in despite the fact that as I was making them, we reached half-time. Let's see what we can do here against Angers. I believe that's how you'd actually say their name. Memphis, set piece, steps up, hits it. Lovely, lovely free kick. Less than a minute into the half. I'm going to go back to positive mentality now that we've taken the lead. You can see Angers here, gone 6 games without defeat prior to this match in the league, I assume that is. They are a team in form. Not a free win by any means, but well, Memphis' free kick regains the lead for us. Can we now build off that? Mendy down this left-hand side. Memphis goes for the 360 no-scope unnecessarily. Mendy whips in. Bertrand Traore, back post header. Was having to compete with a defender there in the air, and he's not known for his aerial ability, but having got there, you would have liked to have seen him direct it at least on target for us. Set piece here with Fekir. Whips it in. Marcelo back post. That's what we want to see. We're 3-1 up. We can breathe a bit of a sigh of relief. I'm going to take off Marcelo despite the fact he's just scored. And we're going to give Monty a debut. I don't want Marcelo to get sent off. And he is already on a booking. But yeah, Monty, welcome to the team. Show us what you can do. I'm also going to bring in, I think, Awar for Fekir, who's been a little bit quiet today. I think he might have assisted the Marcelo goal unless it's Depay, who's first choice for corner takers. I'm not actually sure. Because Depay's been out for so long, I know he has priority on free kicks. Oh my gosh, Manzala's just scored another goal. It's so similar to the last goal as well. This time it's a corner, not a free kick. Fulligini, or Fulgini, pulls it. And, I mean, it's a great finish, innit? He's got a tractor of a right foot, apparently. A tractor engine. Patrice Evra at left back for them is just... I mean, I was about to comment on him. He immediately gets subbed off. I've jinxed him there. I mean, I'm going to do one last talk of demand more. Focus for the rest of this game. Look at that. Good reaction. 3 minutes left. Let's just see this out. It doesn't need to be a convincing win. A win is all we need. And now we cast a nervous eye over to PSG and how they did against Monaco. And I think they won. So... that was probably our last shot at them slipping up, unless they play a day later, which I don't think they do. They won 1-0. Cavani with a penalty. 6 games left. Marseille drew. So with that, we do now secure a Champions League spot. Our budgets are set for the year. How much money would I like? I mean, 50 million transfer budget. A couple 100 million. 100 million would be nice on the wage budget. No, a couple 100,000 would be nice on the wage budget. What are we going to get? Boom. Okay, I'm underwhelmed. I thought we'd get more money than that. I'm going to be honest. I did think we'd get a smidge more. I'm kind of still tempted to go in for Sancho. And I kind of want to, if I'm going to go in for him now. Before the teams get interested. I feel like it's going to be a very tall order for us to hold on to all of our key players. And given the fact he's unhappy... I do wonder if we could make maybe an offer for him and get him to join us. I don't really want to go higher than 40 million for him. They want 100 million now. The window of opportunity came and it's gone very quickly. There isn't a great selection of players available who are transfer listed right now. I'm just wondering in the scouting centre, who have we spotted? Why can I not say his name? We'll just call you Pretzel. It's probably a little bit offensive to call him Pretzel, but it just sounds quite intimidating. I mean, he's not joining us, is he, the Pretzel? I think that's now a thing. I've decided. Diego Lainez is a player I do really like this year in FM, but he would take up a non-EU player slot. And he's not good enough to justify that yet. but he does have a lot of potential, and he is a consistent performer, and he is pretty good as an inside forward. And he is only 18. How much do they want? Yeah, I'm not paying that much for him. Brenner's another player I know a lot of people suggested analysts. Jesus, English is hard. Analysts apparently rate him quite highly. I rate him highly as well. I've had a bit of a good experience with him earlier on in FM this year. There's someone who jumps out at me. There's Coetzee here, who they love, apparently. South African player. He's injury prone. Underwhelmed would be the best way to describe how I feel about that. Just in terms of players who are transfer listed, is there anyone who they rate really highly? Lenglet, Kanangon, that's definitely not how you say his name. I mean, he's a pretty good French centre-back. He's apparently requested to leave. His asking price is 3.7 million. I mean, to me, he looks like value in the market. I know we don't necessarily need more centre-backs, but at £3.7 million for a Frenchman who's pretty good in the air, I'm almost tempted to go for him. He's only 22. I'm going to stick in an offer. I don't know if we'll go through with that. Lenglet's also available. What's your asking price? It's gone down to 11 million. There's some pretty big teams interested in him as well. I like his personality a lot. I do. And 11 million isn't the craziest sum of money. I'd like to spread some fees over a bit of time. Obviously, I can afford to sign him like he is within our budgets. I am partially of the mindset of, if I'm going to sign these kind of players, I'd like to, but I might need to move some players on in the summer. You know, I love players like Bertrand Traoré, but Arsenal, United and Tottenham are all interested in him, and he's valued at 54 million. Now, don't get me wrong, he's been absolutely nutty for us this year. If a team was to bid £80 million, though, whilst I might not be able to replace him immediately with a player of the same quality, I have got Trincao coming through the ranks. You know, he's 19, who looks like a player for the future. I mean, when you do a direct comparison, Trincao better technically, not got the same physicals, obviously not got the same form, but isn't that far off, I think, being as good as Traoré. And the reality is that he does have a release clause with Chelsea, which I'm very fearful of. I'm curious to know how much Lenglet would want. I'm very curious to know. He really wants to be a key player. He really wants to be a key player. That has me worried for his wages. He does look incredible though, doesn't he? See, him and Wallace as a centre-back pairing could be so good. The fact he's a young Frenchman does play into my bias, because I would like to keep some French players in the team. It's one of the reasons why I like Kanangon here so much, is because he's young and French. The wage demands are a little higher than I'd like to give, especially that yearly wage rise. I want to be hard in these negotiations on him. We'll see what the scouts have to say. I like him, and he is consistent. But I don't think we'd sign him and Lenglet, and Lenglet is just the better player. Lenglet's also left-footed and pretty good with the ball at his feet. I am, like, long-term thinking, you know, Marcelo's legs are going to be fading soon. He's 32 in, like, next month. Less than a month. Well, in fact, in exactly a month, he's 32. Obviously, we have Wallace, who we've signed, who's a great player, who's right-only kind of footed. Lenglet, as a left-footed centre-back, could be a really good kind of partner for him. They're slightly different as well in their kind of play, which is nice. Obviously, Denaya's good, don't get me wrong. Denaya's good, but he's not amazing in the air. His mentals aren't that great. If we compare him to Lenglet, who's the same age, you'd argue Lenglet is the better player, even if he's not as quick. Lenglet would solve a long-term problem, I think, at centre-back. If he asks for less than 50 grand, I'm pretty happy here. We are going to have to throw in some bonuses. The other thing is, you might have noticed, the offer that we've put in for him is £6 million. With another £6 million over 3 years. So £2 million a year we're looking at giving him. International cap bonus. I'd give him a pretty large one, because I don't know how much he's going to play centre-back for France. Okay, he wants so much money. So much more than I'm willing to offer him. The estimated demands were a little bit off, weren't they? Oh, it's just way too much. I can't break the bank. How does he compare to Gnanon, who we're looking at? I mean, he is just way better, but Gnanon is 22. He's 22. He's not the youngest player in the world. I don't. Lenglet's the actual solution to the problem, but he's just way out of the budget that I want to spend. Of course, right now, we're still a long way off the summer transfer window opening. I am, planning quite far ahead here. But I think it's difficult not to want to plan ahead. You can leave your transfers till the summer. A player like Lenglet, it's pretty likely there are going to be other bigger teams looking at him down the line, and he might even, ask for even more money. The thing is with Gnanon, right? It's so little money. It's so little money. It's £4 million for a young French centre-back. He looks okay. He doesn't look great. I'm not going to pretend he looks like the world's best player. We're building close to a season record number of wins. We're already tied with it. And also a record points haul. The club's record is 84. Marcel is out injured. We'll leave that to the physio. We don't need to give him injections or anything stupid. Unfortunately, I feel like winning the league now is beyond us. We need PSG to slip up on 2 occasions. Maybe Lille can do us a favour down in 17th. Maybe they can. This is the game in hand that we have as well. Mendy's struggling a little bit for fitness. Obviously, we did rotate the team a little bit for that last game. Marcel and Wallace still not fit, so we're still lacking a little bit. I could play Lala at left back. He's a little bit fitter than Mendy, and he can play, obviously, left back. He's kind of our third choice option there. He's been superb this year, to be honest, though, Kenny Lala, so I feel like he deserves to play. Wallace will take off, I think, Denea this time, and then that puts Kanate on the bench. Kanate has kind of just emerged as 4th choice ahead of Monty, which Monty might be a little bit upset about, but he did come in to be a backup, and we made that clear to him. I feel like when you look at Kanate as well, he has improved a lot this year already. Just wish his heading was a tiny bit better, but everything else about his game for a 19-year-old is just really good. Higher up the pitch, Bertrand Traoré struggling a little bit. I might give him a rest. He was very good not that long ago, wasn't he? Now, you might be thinking I'm going to play Saint Maximin. I'm actually not. I'm going to play Trincao because I really feel like this guy's improving a lot and I want to give him some more first-team football. We're training his final third at the moment out with his vision, decisions and composure, but actually, I'd like him to be a little bit quicker. So we're going to shift the focus to his acceleration and pace. It's not bad, but it's one area of his game where as a wide man he is lacking a little bit in, so we'll give him it and see what he can do with it. They are playing an interesting formation. I feel like we're not going to change anything tactically immediately in this game. We'll kind of see how things play out as the match progresses. But I think, we're away from home. It's not going to be easy. They're a team who were significantly higher in the league than they are right now, so they are struggling. They're playing quite a defensive system, so I feel like they're inviting us to really attack them. They'll probably be looking to hit us on the break, so I'm not going to switch our wing-backs onto attack. We're going to stick with what we're doing here and hope that we can just swarm them in the final third and, show our quality. Lala here from left-back. Whips it in. Trincao, back post, can't win the header. Tete down to Ndombele. PSG leading very early on against Lille, who don't look likely to do us a favour. Lala, lovely run, pulls it back. Trincao is there. That's what I want to see, Francisco. That is what I want to see. A first senior goal for him. That is great news. Hopefully he can build off that now. Hopefully they're just going to start, swarming in. As I said, Bertrand Traoré, a player who I don't necessarily think we're going to have come next year if the right offer came in. This could be the replacement. And so, whilst he hasn't had the best start to the club, we've given him a few appearances since he joined in January and he's not shone. Maybe now he can just kick on a little bit. First goal is always a good one, eases the pressure off him a bit. Got to remember, he came in for, was it 1.1 million? Yeah, no, 1.3 million. That's absolutely nothing. Before this game, he has only played 2 league games as well. I don't even know if he started either of them. I think they might have been off the bench. Anyway, we've got another chance here. Memphis hits the woodwork. Rebound can't quite be leapt upon by us, but the ball not away just yet. Denea dinks it in looking for Memphis. They are going to deal with it again, but Nantes right now on the back foot. Really are. We are penning them in their own half and causing them all kinds of issues here. Fakir's taken a knock. Could be a pulled groin. I'm not risking that. I am going to bring in Aouar, I think. Give him some more first-team football. He was complaining not that long ago about a lack of it. We've tried to give him a bit more, and he has played more in the first team. I feel like as a rotation option, he's got adequate football, to be honest. I don't think he's got much in the way of grounds to complain. Fakir's coming off. Can he have a last little impact on the game? Almost assist Depay for a goal. Unfortunately, Memphis' effort hits the woodwork and, well, is dealt with by Nantes. Trincao to Tete. Drifted inside from right back. Dispossessed well from the tackle. Unfortunately, it's only 1-0 at half-time. We've dominated the game. PSG 2-0 up. They're not slipping up, are they? I mean, realistically, we're going to end up here with a record points haul for the year, and it's not going to be good enough. And that's a tiny bit saddening. I mean, we've lost 2 league games all year until this point. I cannot fault this season. I really cannot fault this season. PSG are just a god squad in FM. And in real life, they're a very good team. It was always going to be a tall ask to go toe-to-toe with them. They're now winning 3-0. Touré's going to be sent off, I imagine, for that. Indeed he is. Second yellow card. They're going to bring on a midfielder. Interesting. I mean, they're going very narrow with their system, as you might have noticed. Now can we get a few more goals? Lala whips it back post. It's headed clear. Memphis is there. Can he tuck it away? I mean, there was about 4 players between him and the goal. He just got crowded out. Unfortunately, couldn't find the back of the net with that effort. And it is dealt with by Nantes. Lala to Aouar here. Now with Memphis, what can you do? Ndombele. Lala at left back. Crosses it in. Headed clear. Only as far as Ndombele. 1 goal here would just help me relax a tiny bit. It would. Tete. Options in the middle. Whips it for Memphis. Back post. Heads it over. Right, let's make a few more changes. Let's bring in Romero for Toussaint. And Depay's had a really poor game. We'll bring in Joseph Martinez to play left winger. Yes. I feel like Martinez is a player we need to move on in the summer. Unless he was to score like 2 hat-tricks in the last few games of the year on off the bench, I don't think we've got room for him in the team, especially with a foreign player spot being taken up. Of course, we're only allowed 4 non-EU players. We're already on that limit, and he is one of the players who eats up one of those spots. And well, he's not done a lot this year, has he, as he picks up a booking. What has he actually done this year? 2 goals in 18 games. 8 of those have been starts. It's been a disappointing season from him. I was hoping he could make the step up from MLS, but it just really hasn't happened. And unfortunately, he isn't going to get on the score sheet here either. It finishes 1-0. Francisco Trincao with the difference maker. A game that it's only finished 1-0, but we were in complete control of. I don't even know if they had a shot on target. By far and away the better team there. Unfortunately, you can see PSG winning 4-0. So, 5 league games left of the season. PSG, who have you got left to play? I mean, they have got fixture congestion. They've got Angers in 5th, Nice in 18th, who, I mean, how they're in 18th, I don't know. Their media prediction, I believe, was like 5th at the start of the year. 7th, okay. Maybe that's dropped off a little bit. I was expecting them to be higher than that. They could be a team who, if they were to get relegated, we look to raid. They've got Dijon in 10th and Rennes in 13th. Also Montpellier to play. I just don't see a world where they slip up. Unfortunately for us. I think they play on the Saturday before the Bordeaux game. I think we won't play this Bordeaux game coming up. I'm going to save it for tomorrow. Tomorrow's episode will be the end of season livecom. I think we've got 5 games left of the season, so we'll just do all of those as one longer bumper episode to feast your face on Saturday. Apparently the title race is going down to the wire. I mean, we've got tricky games. We've got Marseille and Bordeaux still to play. They do play that game, you can see here, a day earlier against Montpellier. We'll see how they get on here against them. Marin continuing to develop in training, I noticed there. Let's take a look at him. How is he continuing to develop? 9.5 rating he's given. I mean, he has real potential, Marin. I hope he can live up to it. Toussaint improving some more. I mean, Toussaint, low-key, bit of a fan favourite for me. Like him a lot. Okay, well, I said about Martinez getting hat-tricks to end the season. He's twisted his ankle. He's out pretty much for the rest of the season. It's probably the last we're ever going to see of him. He really has been poor. I know he's coming off the bench a fair bit, but he's just not shown us any reason to give him more chances. We brought him in for £6 million. I do expect that if we can move him on in the summer, we're going to be able to turn a profit. Going on here, you can see, Scout report shows that he has some pretty good potential. The report, 68%. One of the big cons against him, I imagine, is the fact that we can't sign him right now, but we have already obviously pre-agreed an option. In terms of squad comparison, he's rated as good as Monty. Obviously, we brought Monty in for £1 million. I kind of would almost be tempted to sell him if I brought in Gananon. Do I want to bring him in? See, this is one of those transfers where it's really not needed. We don't necessarily need a centre-back, but it's such a small amount for a player who has some potential, is a Frenchman as well, which I do like. You know, being a French club, I feel like it'd be good to keep a French young core. You can see he was signed for 13 million by Sevilla. I think he missed the first half of the season through injury. He sprained his ligaments for 3 weeks. He's just not really been given an opportunity. He's physically good. How does he compare to Kanate? Kanate is younger than him by about 2 years. See, he is significantly better than Kanate. Now, Kanate has room to improve, but he's coming in for a fraction of the cost. Kanate, a player who I might even look to loan out next year. And he's coming in for a salary that would be similar to Kanate's. I'm going to ask for confirmation on this. I am going to sign him. I've decided. I like him. I do like him. I know someone's going to say, you don't need centre-backs. I know I don't, but I feel like it's a low-risk investment. PSG, they win through another penalty. 4 games left of the year. They pull 7 points clear. I mean, tomorrow's episode could be anticlimactic if we were to slip up in the first game against... who is it we've got? Against Bordeaux, who are in 7th. But, I mean, have we confirmed our spot in second? I think we just about have. I think any point in the games, I think Monaco need to win all their games. We have to lose all of our games. But we're going to want to end the season on a high. And if we could keep the unbeaten run in the league going a little longer, it would be good. Because we've not lost in... I want to do the maths here. We've not lost in 13 league games, which is really, really impressive. And, well, I'm hoping we can keep it going. Anyway, I'm going to wrap things up here for today, guys. Hopefully I see you guys tomorrow for the end of season live com. I imagine tomorrow will just be the matches. We might do a little bit of transfer scouting. It's probably going to be a bit longer, so obviously keep an eye on that in your sub-box. Playlist for those of you watching in the future is, of course, down in the description as always. And yeah, well, hopefully I see you guys next time. Thank you for watching. I will talk to you guys in a bit. It is me, Jack, and I'm out.